In front of the children.
All right, we're going to need to state the nature of the testimony. I'm hearing from all observers at the agency.
That's a good idea, Your Honor. Clearly, 14-year-old children do not have the capacity that adults do to process this kind of information.
Okay.
Good morning, sunshine. I got to this looking at everybody. I'm making part out because you call me. This is what's my days.
I don't know. They're really good at training my
COs, whatever. They can move your cases to the top of the side.
Okay, how's everybody doing today? Happy Friday. Coming back to you with an informative video.
Well, his father passed away when he was 5, so he didn't much know which was a blessing. He was a violent man.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Drugs. She left Willie home once for 4 days when he was 6.
Okay, I want to talk about the protesting that's still going on. The protesting. I'm going to wait for more people to come in. Hope everyone is having a very good Friday. I think I need to brighten my screen a little because it looks dark on my end. I want to talk about several things about the protesting that's still going on. And I want to talk about Tim, also from Sweetie Pies, Tim Norman. Okay. Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and get started. So we are still seeking justice for Breonna Taylor, the young lady that was shot by cops, and the cops still have not been charged.
We're seeing photos of Breonna Taylor's apartment following the deadly police encounter for the very first time. Now, these photos, released by Taylor's family lawyer, show the damage caused by the police after they entered the apartment with a search warrant and fired more than 20 rounds on March 13th. Taylor was hit at least 8 times. After gaining national attention, the case will be handed over to the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office once the local investigation is complete. So Tessa Duvall has been reporting extensively on this fatal shooting. She's a reporter for the Courier-Journal in Louisville. Thank you so much for joining us, Tessa. So we're learning more information about what happened that night, and we're seeing these photos. Are the photos giving us any additional information about why things went so badly?
Absolutely. These photos are showing just the extent of damage that took place in her apartment. And so what we've learned, through court document, through a lawsuit, through Breonna Taylor's family attorneys, is that officers fired from multiple locations. And so with these photos, we are able to tell, really the extent of the damage in her home and in her kitchen and her bathroom and bedrooms, the patio door, sliding glass patio door into her apartment. You can tell there are bullet holes through the curtains that were drawn and the glass is shattered. And so that really backs up one of the large claims made in this lawsuit, is that, officers were firing from multiple locations and perhaps did not have a line of sight when they were shooting.
We also know that the judge issued a no-knock warrant. What does that mean? Why is that a critical step in this case?
Absolutely. So that is one of the really contentious points about this case. So there were 2 warrants executed the night that Breonna Taylor was killed. There was the one for her apartment, which had...
Pause that for a second. 20 shots in her home and a no-knock warrant.
Investigation. And police believed that they had seen one of the suspects who has a history of drug offenses at her apartment picking up a box. Breonna had dated this individual a couple of years ago, and so based on having seen him go to her apartment, knowing that she had this connection to him, they got no-knock warrants signed off by a judge for both of these locations. So this is a huge sticking point because Kenneth Walker, who's Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, was at home with her, said that he did not hear a knock, as well as multiple neighbors who Breonna Taylor's family attorneys have talked to, all said they didn't hear knocking. And so this is really significant because if Kenneth Walker did not hear a knock and believed that his home, or his girlfriend's home where he was staying, was being broken into, that gives significant context as to why he fired a shot. He does not deny that he fired this shot when he heard the door being broken in. What he's saying is he didn't know it was a police officer. So now he is being charged with attempted murder of a police officer because he fired the shot and one of the officers was hit in the leg and had to undergo surgery. And so he's facing these very serious charges, and Breonna Taylor's family and attorneys feel very seriously that part of getting justice in this situation is seeing those charges dropped against him.
And Tessa, I feel like we got to take maybe a little bit of step back, because I feel like a lot of people may have not even heard about the story or just starting to hear about the story. Breonna was in her apartment at the time when this no-knock warrant was issued and officers came in. She was sleeping on the couch, right? She had absolutely no idea what was happening.
Right. So Breonna Taylor and her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, were in bed, according to statements made by her attorney. They had already gone to bed for the evening. It's important to know that this warrant was served around 12:40 a.m. So, the fact that they were in bed is very likely. So, from what they're saying is from Kenneth Walker's perspective, this is the middle of the night. Someone's banging on their door. He says that police did not identify themselves. And important thing to note here is that police are saying that officers identified themselves, and only used a battering ram after no one answered the door. But the warrant that was signed off on was a no-knock warrant.
And Tessa, you spoke with both the attorney, Ben Crump, and Breonna Taylor's mother. We've seen Attorney Crump give interviews before, but I'm really interested in what Breonna Taylor's mother had to tell you.
Of course, she's devastated by this. That was her daughter who was working in healthcare at this crucial time, during a pandemic. She said her daughter had big plans for her future, that she wanted to buy a house. She really wanted to become a registered nurse. And those were goals that she was working toward. And she wanted to start a family. And she was a really big family person. Her family was really important to her. And she was really tight with her friends. And, one thing that her mother said to me was, I don't think they know what they did. So, really, this is a huge loss for them and their family. And I think for the last 2 months, they've wondered why this hasn't been talked about more. And so that's where we see, Attorney Crump come in. He's got experience with a lot of these really high-profile cases involving the really controversial deaths of Black Americans, especially when the police are involved.
Tessa, before we let you go, I got to ask you about the top prosecutor. That person has recused themselves from this case. What's going on with that?
So what we've learned is that the Commonwealth attorney in this case, who would normally review the case after the police are done with their investigation, has decided to recuse himself because he is choosing to, or rather, he is prosecuting Kenneth Walker, the boyfriend, for this attempted murder of a police officer charge. So now the Attorney General's office will review this, decide if any criminal charges need to be brought, and U.S. Attorney's office and the local FBI office will also review the case.
All right, Tessa Duvall, thank you so much for your reporting. Really appreciate you taking the time out to talk to us.
Okay. I wanted to touch on the Breonna Taylor situation that's still going on, because they are still protesting about this young lady whose life was taken. The no-knock warrant. Now, if she was dealing with someone that had a record, law enforcement do have a right to have a no-knock warrant. That's how I would say that's how come it's important to watch who you are associating with, because if you're associating yourself with people who have had run-ins with the law, you're just putting yourself at risk. Okay. You just I don't like the fact that she got caught up in the crossfire of it all. But I think had she not been involved with someone who already had a record and been under some type of suspicion, that no-knock warrant wouldn't have taken place. Now, the 20 rounds being fired through the window, I don't like that at all, because it don't take no 20 rounds to kill someone. But first of all, they should have knocked. But the no-knock warrant was out the door because of the history of who she's associating with, the history of the things that's been going on at that home location. So the 20 rounds, the way they handle things could have been prevented had she not been associating herself with the type of person that she was associating with. Okay, someone that was already in crime. But anyway, so they are still protesting about this, and I'm surprised that people are still protesting. I thought the protesting was over. I never did get out there and do any protesting, to be honest with you, because I know that our help comes from the Most High God of Israel. That's who my help comes from. And so all the protesting that's going on, you're talking to your enemies. Those are your enemies out there that those people are protesting to. So you're actually wasting your time. Our ancestors did all that marching for how many years? What did it do us? No good. And it wasn't meant to do us any good because our help comes from the Most High God, the creator of heaven, earth, the sea, and all that therein is. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So I just wanted to do a live stream and chat with you guys to see what y'all think about the protesting that's still going on. And also to talk about Tim Norman of Miss Sweetie Pies. Now, he had a previous record, served years in prison, and his mom tried to give him a chance, and look what he did. He didn't even give it the benefit of the doubt. And that's sad. That's sad when people try to give you a chance and you don't give them the benefit of the doubt. You don't try to better yourself at all. And he set up his nephew to be killed. And from the news, he also had a life insurance policy out on Miss Robbie. And that's really sad. That is really sad. We are living in the very, 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 very last days. So those of you that don't see that, I really feel sorry for you. And I have my Cash App. My Cash App is the money, the $, and Jacqueline, JACQUELYN, middle initial D, last name Jenkins. That's my Cash App. So I would love to have donations, and we could keep these live streams going. And I hope everyone have a wonderful, wonderful weekend and keep the Shabbat, the holy, true Shabbat, which starts Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Shalom.